Well, looks like Democrats are at it again. AOC condemns Kamala Harris for telling Guatemalan migrants not to come to the U.S. This is brought to you by The Guardian, powered by MSNBC News. And we have the progressive New York representative Alexandria Cortez, AOC. She's not progressive. She's a far left-wing nut job. Has criticized Vice President Kamala Harris for saying undocumented migrants from Guatemala should not come to the U.S. On her first foreign trip as vice president, Harris visited Guatemala on Monday at a press conference with Guatemala's president. The former California senator spoke about investigating corruption and human trafficking in Central America and described a future where Guatemalans could find hope at home. But she also had a clear message that undocumented Guatemalan migrants should not find solace at the U.S. border under the Biden administration. This was her words. I want to be clear to folks in the region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come. It is dangerous. I'm sorry. A lot of actually people are they're trafficking. You know, they're paying thousands to do it and all that type of stuff, and they get up there and we're still not open. And Democrats don't have their act together on it. They don't know what the hell they're doing. People like AOC just want open borders, let everybody in. As AOC said on Twitter, her comments disappointing to see. First, seeking asylum at any U.S. border is 100% legal method of arrival. Let's just go back here. She didn't say anything about asylum. She says, I want to be clear to the folks in the region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States. Do not come. Here's one thing. No, Harris may be making a comment about all the dangers of the trek on up there, and AOC is just being her usual idiotic self. Oh, let's come on up. Let's endanger more people. No. And again, she does all the same. No, let's put all the blame on the U.S. The story does that too. Now, right here, the U.S. spent decades contributing to the regime change and destabilization in Latin America. We can't help set someone's house on fire and then blame them for fleeing. Right there. Got to blame the U.S. for everything that's going on, because that's another, Democrats hate the U.S., which is what they say. Rachel Schmidtke, Latin American advocate at the nonprofit Refugees International, said, we continue to urge the Biden administration to build policies that recognize that many Guatemalans will need to seek protection until the long-standing drivers of forced displacement are addressed, and realign its message to the Guatemalan people to reflect America's commitment to the right to seek protection internationally. Why is internationally always the U.S.? Why are we like the only ones that have to accept everybody that comes? It gets old after a while. The Asylum Seeker Advocacy Project, a nonprofit that works with asylum seekers, tweeted, Kamala Harris, seeking asylum is legal. She never said anything that you can't seek asylum, that we're turning that off. It's about the trek. Turning back asylum seekers is illegal, dangerous, and oftentimes sends them back to their deaths. Seeking asylum is a right under U.S. and international law. I love how that under U.S. How about just international law? Why does it have to be U.S. and international? Like we're some sort of outside force from international law. Despite Joe Biden moving to undo Trump-era restrictions at the border, including instituting changes to the asylum process, Harris's speech underlined a continued stance of turning back undocumented migrants. Central America, and here's where we start going into the whole entire let's blame U.S. for everything. Central America has long been affected by poverty and violence amid entrenched cycles of political instability, partly caused by criminal elites. Experts contend that the U.S. has often aided oppression regime. Right there, gotta blame the U.S. for every little thing. Can't stop doing that. Despite the litany of dangers migrants often face when traveling north, the journey is often safer than remaining at home. Got to do that. People are leaving because the corrupt governments supported by the U.S., again, blame the U.S. for every little damn thing, have tolerated and encouraged the growth of these criminal organizations, said Jeff Fox, founder of the Economic Policy Institute. In April, according to CNN, more than 178,000 migrants arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border, the highest one-month total in 2 decades. What's changed? What's changed in 2 decades? Biden's administration. They don't know what the fuck they're doing with immigration. Democrats have no clue. They want flipping open borders for all. We're still getting out of a pandemic. Are Democrats checking every single migrant that comes to make sure they're not bringing in another case of COVID? No, they're not. They just want to the real thing right here. I think personally, they're trying to bring these people in, give them citizenship, so they can vote Democrat, because they're losing the hold on minorities in the black communities and the Hispanic communities. So they got to bring in a new bloc to vote strictly Democrat. Now, that's my theory. What do you think? Democrats going insane? Let me know. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Get notified for new content, and I'll see you next video.